Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to another episode of All-Star Wrestling. Here each and every Sunday night, we like to bring you the past, the present, and the future. And those of you who followed us last week, we told you this week we were going to have a major announcement, and that's what we got to do. We got a lot to talk about tonight, and it's all about racing and wrestling. My guest tonight is one of the best in the business when it comes to racing. I'm talking about Mr. Curtis Francois. I appreciate you being here, Curtis. And, you know, I got to tell you, first of all, what event, the Melee on the Midway, along with the Enjoy Illinois 300. It was a marriage, I believe.
It was. Herb, thanks so much for bringing everyone out. What a day. I think there was a lot of folks that saw things they'd never seen before. We saw excitement like we've never seen before. The event itself was unbelievable. We had a sellout crowd again for the third year. Really over 102,000 people for the weekend, which was huge. 45 states, 20 different countries represented here in St. Clair County. So just great for fun and what we love to do, which is, you know, just see people making those memories and just enjoying themselves.
Well, and that's what we do here each and every Sunday night. Like I said, we like to keep the memories alive here in the present and hopefully into the future. And I think what the organization that you have put together at the Worldwide Technology Raceway is next to none. And I am still hearing fans text me, or when I see them out, are just raving about how the coalition between the racing fans and the wrestling. I mean, you were out there, even when we were playing with the weather, the fans stood there and watched it. And I mean, you were there getting soaking wet, and Chris and Mike, and people are still talking about it to this day. So I think there's no doubt that when it comes to racing and wrestling, it's a great combination.
There's no doubt about it. You know, it's talk about compelling entertainment. You know, you've got that high horsepower on the track, you've got high energy in the ring, and everybody won that day. And that's so much of what we're trying to do, is to make sure that whoever we're involved with somehow or another is winning. And the winner actually winds up being St. Clair County, southwestern Illinois, and just great to see that it's working. We're working hard at it.
Well, and I got to tell you, not only the entertainment, of course, the wrestling, the racing was just great both days. But what I found myself being intrigued by was the staff. Everything from the public safety people who were just couldn't be any more helpful. I stood there, was on the card, and people would stop and ask one of them, "Hey, do you know where this is at?" And it wasn't, "No, go and get on." It was like, "Hey, you know, you go down here, this is where this is at." The food was excellent. It was hot at a lot of those midways, the concession. You know, by the time you get it, it's cold. I mean, the one day we got some French fries and they were so hot you couldn't eat them. And people were talking, and then when the announcement of the wrestling was getting ready to start, it was just like they opened the gates. And we got film of that, fans just coming down. And of course, when the rain, a few of them went over and got underneath the shelter, but the rest of them stood out there like we were. I mean, we were intrigued by the Big Texan and Gary Jackson. And of course, you had the WWE legend there, Cowboy Bob Orton. Right. So, I mean, I think it was a win-win. I love the name that you came up with, you know, the Melee on the Midway. I mean, that's going to stick around forever and ever, but it's got to be a logistical nightmare for you. How do you manage to keep your composure? Every time you came around where I was at, you had the smile on your face. You know, how does that work? How do you do that?
Well, you know, now after 13 years, I've seen a few things at the racetrack, and listen, there's always times where something comes up I haven't seen before, but what I recognize is that you have to be ready for what comes your way, and what comes your way is coming your way no matter how I'm reacting to it. So, you know, it is great to have a wonderful staff. I have tremendous faith in my staff. They understand that our overall goal is to create an experience for people that come out to the racetrack, leave the racetrack with great memories that they can pass along, and really just give an opportunity to folks to come out and have a wonderful time.
Well, and that's, I mean, I think what amazed me is that and I know there's always issues. When you have an event of that magnitude, there's got to be bumps in the road. And it was just kind of like they rolled off your shoulder. And, same way with Chris. I mean, he'd pull up and, if we needed something, I mean, after the rain came, we needed a squeegee. It wasn't 5 minutes later, there was a guy out there with a squeegeeing the ring off for us, and he was having a ball at it. And the fans were cheering him on. And the atmosphere was just one. After 51 years of being in the professional wrestling business and promoting, I have not experienced so much energy from a crowd of those racing and wrestling fans. It made me feel good, so I know it had to make you and your staff feel just as good. And then, of course, the talk of the concerts. Everything was just put together like I've never seen it before. And my hat's off to you, I'm telling you.
Well, thank you, Herb. I sure appreciate it. And, I'm always going to deflect any praise to my staff because they're the ones that are really rolling up their sleeves. But we did receive a lot of recognition throughout the weekend. I had a great opportunity after the race weekend was over, and I was at the next weekend's race event out in California. Happened to run across the chairman of NASCAR there, and was able to share about how we do things here in southwestern Illinois. And no one has ever had wrestling like we had at a racetrack before. And we all realized that there was a shared demographic there. And we're on to something here. And I don't think anyone that was at that event could not have enjoyed themselves and had fun. And that is what we're after, that those smiles on people's faces as they're seeing things, one that they may never have seen before, but even if they have entirely new venue, and then listen, from a food standpoint, if you couldn't find something that you wanted to eat there, I'm not sure what you eat, because
Exactly.
it was all covered. So
it was everything from A to Z. If you wanted a nice cold beverage, there was plenty of that going too. But another highlight I had was you introduced me to a couple of your board members, Mr. Clapp. And then Mr. Cassidy, and it was just a treat for me with Mr. Clapp. He tested my knowledge on the wrestling and talked about Gorgeous George, which, boy, I fit right into that. And I feel like I become a good friend of his, because when I saw him the next day when we crossed paths on the carts, he was giving me the thumbs up, and he was standing out there getting wet a little bit with us. So it was a pleasure meeting both of them gentlemen.
Yes, well, Ken would have a similar background as yours of being the promoter's promoter. Ken was, he actually brought NASCAR to the West Coast with multiple tracks. I think at one point he operated 12 or 13 different tracks. And so he's seen a lot of promoting in his day, and I think he appreciated what was going on at Worldwide Technology Raceway over that weekend.
Yeah, and then the one time we were standing there talking, somebody from Bomarito came up and said, hey, whose brainchild was this? So, and that was just the atmosphere. So for those of you fans who were there, thanks for coming. We appreciate that. It was just an all-out great event. We're going to take a quick commercial break right now. We can't do it without our sponsors, and we're going to come right back, and we're going to tell you about an announcement for August and September. Join us.
Wrestling fans, you looking for the best in daily lunch specials and great menu food items? Look no further than Layla's Roadhouse, 440 Falling Springs Road in Cahokia Heights, Illinois. That's right, a family sit-down dining and always great specials. Also has the best pizza in the area.
Well, there you have it, fans. We thank our sponsors each and every month or every week here. We're talking about the Melee on the Midway. If you weren't there, you missed it. But guess what? Don't feel bad. Don't get upset because you hear us talking about all the great time we had then. Curtis, we got a couple more coming. August 17th and September the 28th. I can't thank you enough for including our great SICW wrestling fans into these next two big events out there. So what can you tell us about the August, September date?
Well, back by popular demand, and their wrestling's coming back because everyone had a great time with the Melee on the Midway, and I think that was just a testament to hard work to make it happen. We weathered the storms and the rain, and wrestlers were wrestling in the rain, which is a first for me to ever see. But I think we're onto something here, and we're trying to make sure that when folks come out to the racetrack, they never know exactly what they're going to see. And they were treated to a wrestling spectacular on the Midway like no one's ever seen before. So that was super exciting to see that happen. And we had to bring it back. So it's coming back.
Well, that's great. And of course, the August-September date is the NHRA races. Can you kind of tell our viewers what, for those who maybe are saying, hey, it sounds like it was fun, we want to go to this, what are they going to be able to expect on the race side of it when they come on August the 17th?
Yeah, on August 17th, that's all the cars and the stars from the Indianapolis 500. So if you saw them racing at the greatest spectacle in racing in the world, they're going to be at the racetrack, Worldwide Technology Raceway, on August 17th racing. So the quality of the racing is unbelievable. There's just anyone that can win at our racetrack, multiple winners now over the years. Everyone recognizes our track as one of the raciest facilities on the schedule. And so, you know, when you come out, you're able to see that top tier racing. You're actually going to have a great time as well as watching that racing, because it's a spectacle. Everything we do at the racetrack, there's something special for everyone, and we want to make sure that everyone feels included with that. So add in some more wrestling to that weekend and some more good food and drink and some great racing. What's not to like?
Man, if you're not hooked on that, I'm telling you, the food was top notch, I'm telling you. Don't take my word for it. August 17th, be there. And we're going to tell you real quick right now, you can get those tickets at the next SICW event, which is on July the 6th at the Collinsville Fireman Bingo Hall. That's our new home for the next 3 months, because our regular monthly show at the Belle Claire Fairgrounds, as we've been talking about, is going under some renovations. So the good people at the Collinsville Fireman's Hall is helping us with that monthly show. So July 6th, you'll have some people there that will have tickets on sale.
Absolutely.
And you get them there, and there's kind of a deal. I think that if they buy them in advance, they get them for $30.
Yes.
And that takes in the race and the wrestling, the good food, the good drinks, and everything.
It's an unbeatable deal for our friends here in the wrestling world. So we're thrilled to be able to offer that on the 6th, and then the race will be here before you know it, here by August 17th.
Well, yeah, and that's why we're telling you here tonight. It's going to be here July 6th, and then will be more information on August the 3rd, I believe it is. You'll be able to get another shot at it. So you'll have 2 nights to get them. But you're going to hear a lot more over the next weeks coming up about this here. Big race, August the 17th, $30. Show up at the Collinsville Fireman Bingo Hall on July 6th, 9510 Collinsville Road, right off Interstate 255. Easy to get to. The track is just down the road, a little ways from there. You know, this is where it's at. Racing and wrestling is what we want to do. We're going to take another commercial break, and we're going to be right back in a few moments. Thank you.
Wrestling fans, there's nothing better than barbecue and wrestling. When you're hungry, stop by Mr. Barbecue with 2 locations to serve you in Columbia and Waterloo, Illinois. Great barbecue, cold beverages, and SICW wrestling.
Wrestling fans, we're back, and we said 2 big dates. August the 17th, we told you all about that, but Curtis, that's not it. You got us a bonus here. September the 28th.
Always something going on, and this is one of my favorite events of the year when the NHRA comes to town. 11,000 horsepower dragsters doing 330 miles an hour in about 1,000 feet. truly from day one in 2012, that is one of our must-see events. It's an amazing display of horsepower, and it's a visceral experience of sights and sounds and smells of rubber, and it all happens in 4 seconds. So it's something that really, I think, our wrestling fans will really enjoy, because if you haven't seen it, or even if you have, you never can get enough of it. And I think it'll be a neat pairing of our two groups together.
Well, I'm telling you, and fans, I can tell you, I was at that track many years ago when it was just a drag strip. You know, as I told you before, I used to be out there every week for the races, and it was something that you had to see. But if you haven't been there recently and seen what Curtis and his staff has done out there, it's its own little community. I mean, it is just amazing. So August the 17th and September the 28th, put them on your calendar right now. You have to be there and come and get those tickets. They're offering a great price on the tickets if you attend the SICW events, because it's racing and wrestling, and that's what we want to do. And we want you to be a part of that. And Curtis, you heard us talk about when we started, we like to keep the memories that I know you and I have talked about in wrestling, from Wrestling at the Chase. We like to talk about them each and every week on here, and we have the archives from the old Wrestling at the Chase days. And I know we talked about some wrestlers over the time that you and I have talked, but if you had a classic match or a classic wrestler, who would that be you'd like to see this week?
Well, you know, for me, I look back to those memories that I had with my dad watching Wrestling at the Chase on the little portable TV from the time I was a little kid. And, you know, for some reason, Johnny Valentine always, it's just always top of mind. And then Pat O'Connor, because he was the little smaller guy, but packed a tough punch. So both of those fellas are just guys that I remember and always look forward to hearing their names, because they bring back great memories.
Well, that's what we're going to do right here tonight. And I know for those of you fans that follow us each and every week and you come to our shows, you've seen this classic match that I've asked Brian to pick out of our archives because it's one that I truly enjoy from back in 1962. And it's the black and white, of course. And it's Johnny Valentine against Bill Frasier. And I'm going to give you a little bonus too if we run over a little bit on time. So what, it's our show, we can do that. But you're going to see Pat O'Connor in action against the Flying Frenchman, Lorenzo Parenti. And I gave you another little bonus. Joe Garagiola, the first play-by-play announcer that started in 1959, is calling the play-by-play. That's your classic match for tonight. Take a look at this.
Hello, everybody. Busch Bavarian, America's most refreshing beer, presents Joe Garagiola and Wrestling at the Chase. Brought to you every Saturday at 9 and Wednesday at 8 for your enjoyment. No doubt about it, you can't beat fun. Fun and Busch Bavarian. So lift a snow-cooled glass while you enjoy the show. Now, let's go to ringside and Joe Garagiola.
Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to Wrestling at the Chase. Yes, sir, wall to wall, and boy, tonight we're going to have them all over this place. Duke Kiamuka's on. He's against Ray Gordon. Bill Frasier against Johnny Valentine. And Pat O'Connor, the United States heavyweight champion, against Lorenzo Parenti. So we're going to have an international match here. That's our card, and we'll be back with the first match right after this message.
And now, here's the second event of the evening. From Anderson, Indiana, weighing 230 pounds, Bill Frasier. And his opponent from Seattle, Washington, weighing 242 pounds, Johnny Valentine. The referee is Joe Schoenberg. This match is one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Gentlemen, you're both familiar with the rules of the Missouri State Athletic Commission. Do either of you have any questions? Shake hands now and come out wrestling at the bell. Bill Frasier
and Johnny Valentine. Joe Schoenberger is a referee. Frasier, not quite as tall as Valentine. Looks like he hasn't missed many meals, though. Good-sized athlete. Valentine, the baking soda man, Arm and Hammer. Bongo with the elbow. There it is, the Art Museum. It's Saturday morning. Aren't you glad the bond issue passed? Johnny Valentine goes down. Head scissors, out of it, and away we go. A lot of action so far. Valentine and Frasier. Valentine, the big favorite. Frasier with the crew cut. Valentine dyed black roots. Went for the head scissors, missed, and ends up with an arm lock. Valentine applying the pressure. Bill Frasier against Valentine. So far, it's been all Valentine. And there is my good friend Robert Becerra. Robert's a Valentine man. Schoenberger says break the hold. Is that our Johnny Valentine? Is that our merit badge winner? Reverting back to his popular mechanics days, Johnny Valentine. Bill Frasier, that's Valentine. Oh boy, he must have got a new battery. Did you see those eyes light up? Valentine has been the dirty wrestler so far. Bill Frasier hasn't had much of a chance. Schoenberger, the referee. Head scissors on Johnny Valentine. That's Bill Frasier with the crew cut. Valentine, headless at the moment. Valentine spinning and twisting the hard way. Look, Ma, no hands. Bill Frasier holding on to the head scissors. And that's Frasier's head. From this view, it looks like a bowling tournament's about to begin. There's Valentine. Frasier is in trouble. Oh boy. We lose a dancer a week that way. That was Frasier. This is Valentine. He's got him. Schoenberger breaks the hold. That's Valentine, a close-up of Valentine. That took some courage. That top shot that you see right now, that's Tim Moritsugu. Ted Wallman's on our floor camera. Wayne Anderson is our switcher. Andy Anderson, our video man. Mike Whalen's our floor man. Fred Rockman is our director. And Roy May is our producer. Mel Felder is our audio man.
5 minutes have gone by. There are 10 minutes left.
Bill Frasier with the headlock on Johnny Valentine. Ought to be some kind of a television show for Valentine, you know, like Johnny Dollar or something. Yours truly, Johnny Valentine. Or I was a teenage pizza or something. Wake up, Roy. Bill Frasier and Johnny Valentine. John hasn't used that baking soda Arm & Hammer that he likes to use. Boy, he drives them right into the ground. The natives are counting the beads. Look like a Valentine fan. Joe Schoenberger's our referee, and he's bouncing around pretty good. I hope you can hear that one lady. Her voice seems to just pierce right on through. Oh, boy. Is that ever smart? Joe Schoenberger says break the hold. Hope he was smoking a thinking man cigarette because he was sure thinking. Valentine's in the corner, but he'll be out of it in a minute. Here we go, bargain basement. Here it comes. Whoop. Oh, boy. This is better than brushing between meals. Joe Schoenberger's the referee. One. Not enough. Here comes Valentine again. He's going to set him up. Right out in front of us here, down among the looms. Johnny Valentine. Back down right in front of us here. He's coming up with the tweed pattern. Joe Schoenberger. Whoop. There it was. Here we go. He missed him. Got him on his shoulder. On the neck. And Valentine has got him. 2, 3. Johnny Valentine is the winner with his baking soda Arm & Hammer smashed to the head. And we'll get the official announcement now from Eddie Gromacki.
In 8 minutes and 26 seconds, with a series of brain busters and a body press, the winner, Johnny Valentine.
Well, you heard it. A series of brain busters. Now that's a real job to bust brains. But Valentine did it. He's the winner. And we'll be back with our next match and our next foreign intrigue submission hold right after this message.
And now, the main event. From Wellington, New Zealand, weighing 235 pounds, the United States heavyweight champion, Pat O'Connor. And his opponent from Naples, Italy, weighing 225 pounds, Lorenzo Parenti. The referee is Charles Venator. This match is one fall with a time limit of 20 minutes.
Gentlemen, you are both familiar with the rules of the Athletic Commission of the state of Missouri. Now, unless you have a question, shake hands now and come out wrestling.
Pat O'Connor and Lorenzo Parenti. Oh, we ought to have some action in this one. Should be a fast and furious one. Two real good athletes. Both real clean wrestlers. Lorenzo Parenti and Pat O'Connor. O'Connor, of course, the United States heavyweight champion. O'Connor has Parenti in trouble. Head scissors by Lorenzo. The natives are studying this one. This is the blue plate special. A lot of action. Both these guys attended the classes and attended well. You described that shot. Looked like a Mars test pattern. Parenti has a head scissors on O'Connor. What? And he just got out of it. And all of a sudden says hello. Both wrestlers kind of feeling one another out. And they're going to spin themselves right into the next county. Charlie Venator is the referee. And Charlie hadn't had to do a thing yet. Forget that big date. Friday, April 6th. Hey, a little bit of suspense. As Parenti took the push off the ropes the first time, timed it and put a flying head scissors on O'Connor. And that is Lorenzo Parenti. O'Connor trying to spin his way out of it. Both good athletes. O'Connor, the former NWA champion. That's O'Connor's head we're looking for. That's Parenti's head that we see. Parenti holding on to the head scissors. O'Connor's going to get out of it. Boy, that's a lot of lasagna. He got him. He got him. You got to go for this, Parenti. You got to like that O'Connor. A good athlete. Crowd loves this one. Still debating that brain buster that Valentine beat Bill Frasier with. Do you think that if Rip Hawk was in the match, that Valentine could win with the brain buster? Do you think that Hawk is equipped to allow Valentine to win with the brain buster? It's about half equipped. A brain buster. He'd never beat Hawk with that. And back we go again. Charlie Venator's the referee. Lorenzo Parenti applies the head scissors. And how's the supply of Busch Bavarian holding out? Yes, sir, that cold bottler can, right about now. Many ways to say it. Drinks good, imported Bavarian hops, but boys, all you got to do is just open up the bottle and pour, and then just And that's it. O'Connor bouncing around Parenti with head scissors and flying head scissors and Cape Canaveral head scissors and astronauts and... Watch this O'Connor, though. He's out of it. Yes, sir, O'Connor. Is he holding it? He is. He's holding on to it. O'Connor's still holding on to it. Got to go for that. Pat O'Connor and Lorenzo Parenti. Round and round we go, says O'Connor. His wife probably has one of the most unique names of anyone we've met in a long time. Her name is Remember. Remember O'Connor. Charlie Venator is the referee. And our two boys at work here, Parenti and O'Connor. You know, you don't realize what goes on in the telecast when you sit home and watch a particular show. Right now, Tim Maritsuga's on the top camera. He's been protecting the shots because we've had some problems with our bottom camera here. And he's really had to maneuver it until Ted Wallman gets in action. Now, as soon as he gets his shot, I'll point it out to you just to show you how much work's been going on that top camera. He's rolling around now. It's still Maritsuga on this shot. There's the first shot that he's had in some 3 or 4 minutes. And if I hadn't said anything, you would never have known it. Great crew. And I appreciate the work that they do, and the last was a paid political announcement. No, we have a lot of fun here, and we got a good crew. And you hear it said many times, but unless you got a good crew, you just can't have a good show. Lorenzo Parenti and Pat O'Connor, meanwhile, back at the ranch, continue with head scissors and leg locks, and look at here. And the crowd loves it. A tremendous exhibition of wrestling by Pat O'Connor and young Lorenzo Parenti. O'Connor with the years, but young in body. Charlie Venator's the referee. Yes, sir, the crowd likes this one. And we've got as nice a crowd here tonight as you've ever seen. As the expression goes, they all washed up nicely. Got a fella sitting here with his hands folded in case the accident happens, he's ready. His wife is just across the table and just went, ooh. Parenti and O'Connor. A headlock by Parenti. Here we go, kingside. Oh, there! I mean, hey, that didn't take long. We didn't even get to Kings Highway in Lindo.
10 minutes have elapsed, 10 minutes remaining.
Lorenzo Parenti applying the pressure as he grunts and squeezes. And O'Connor says, where's the buffering? Charlie Venator bouncing around. Charlie's had a pretty easy night of it. Boy, he's had some nights here when he could have thought of 1,000 things he'd rather do. Hey, here we go, Kings Highway. Whoop! Hello! Boy, that's a lot of raviolis. Hit and run. Whoop! Hey, how about that maneuver? You gotta like that. You gotta like it. There's Roy May, Arthur Godfrey. Let's get the official announcement from Eddie Gromacki.
In 11 minutes and 32 seconds, with the cradle hole, the winner, Pat O'Connor.
We've got both of them. Hey, Pat, Lorenzo. Pat, that was a tremendous match, and we want to congratulate both of you. The young fella gave you quite a tussle.
Oh, tremendous. A real terrific athlete and a real credit to wrestling, Joe. He really gave me one of my toughest matches when there's a battle of wits, a battle of science, and a battle of good wrestling.
Did you set up the submission hole, or did it just happen?
Well, I sort of set it up hoping it would come off, and lucky for me it did.
Lorenzo, you lost, but a good match.
Thank you, sir. I got a lot of respect for Pat. For me, he's still real good, you know. But I do my best. I try to beat him, you know.
Good boy. Well, if you're like me, I know you really enjoyed that Parenti-O'Connor match, and we've asked Pat O'Connor to come out just to talk to him about some of these holes that he's using. Pat, come on over here. Pat O'Connor, how about that? I could talk to the champion like that. I said, Pat, come on over here like I could lick you or something. But, Pat, it's nice of you to come on out. I know you've had a tough match, but the fans, I know, enjoyed it. Tell us about some of the holes. First of all, a headlock. Now, you see it looks so easy in the ring. What's so tough about a headlock besides strength?
Well, Joe, the tough part about these holes is always the way you apply them, and it's not just actually putting an arm around a man's neck. You know, this hole was made very famous by one of the greatest and one of the most famous of all wrestlers, Ed Strangler Lewis. He was a great wrestler for many years, and he made this hole famous, and I'll show you exactly how he taught me. Now,
you got a nice slick head to work with.
That's right. Now,
you don't have to agree.
Ed Lewis showed me how to put the ends of the fingers under your jawbone there, and then hold on. Now,
oh, I see what you're doing now. It's really here that hurts.
Absolutely.
It isn't across here.
That's right.
I see. You don't have to brush between meals when you do that, right?
Not exactly, no.
And what was that thing you did to Parenti where you had his arm back here? What is that a particular hole?
Well, that is known as a hammerlock. In wrestling jargon, it's known as a chicken wing, and it's a very tough hole. It's a tough hole to get out of because simply you are behind the man when you have it applied. There are several ways of putting that on. There's one way we can put it on this.
I don't know where I'm going.
And there's the second side is like that, where I hold it there like that.
And you're just going up with it.
That's right. I just pull it right up on it.
What does that do? It's getting me off balance is what it's doing for one thing.
Absolutely, it's getting you off balance. That's what I mean to do. I'll get you off balance, then I put you down on the mat. While I've got that, and then it's tough to get out of.
Well, you're really not applying that much pressure, but I am off balance all the time.
Joe, the reason I'm not applying that much pressure because it's Joe Garagiola.
I see. Okay, all right. I got now. The one I want to ask you about, though, let me take my coat off first, though. I'm not going to challenge you, my friend.
You're not going to challenge me, but you look like it.
The one you put on Parenti now, it has to be your favorite. Now, what do you call that?
I call that the reverse rolling cradle. And I've used it many, many times, and in fact, it's proven a tremendous match winner for me, Joe. I've won a lot of championship matches with this hole.
What's the key to that hole?
The key to that hole is to get a man off balance and roll him over backwards. This is the professional style. Do it the collegiate style, you'd roll him forward.
Now, what do you call that?
Reverse rolling cradle.
Now, do you have to get in a particular position to do that?
Well, Joe, not too much. Just that I'm behind a man. Once I get behind here, I have command of that situation.
Now, we'll do it kind of like in slow motion. Now, you're behind me, we'll say. Now, what would you do? All right.
See where my right foot is?
Yes.
My left is right behind you, so all I do is this.
Oh! and now I can't get up. Huh?
No, Joe, you can't get up. This is my match winner.
Now I can't get my shoulders up. Now what do I do?
You just count it down. There's a 3-pin there.
Now, don't put a whole lot of pressure on me, but just kind of like you're trying to pin me. I see. Hey, you got me. Hey, while I'm down here, I might as well give me the matches and I'll sign off. Gordon and Kiyomuka, that was a draw. Valentine beat Frasier. O'Connor beat Parenti and Garagiola. Johnny Costas. And, you know, that really smarts. Where'd you learn this hole?
I learned it in collegiate, then, of course, on the professional match.
Do you work out in a gym and do these kind of things?
Yes, I do.
How long can you keep a guy down here? As long as you want?
Yes.
Did anybody teach you this hole?
Yes, I worked at it on a number of years.
You know, I'm getting why I'm enjoying it down here, Pat. Pat, we certainly enjoy it.
Joe?
And now I'm going to try to get up. Will you try to unlock me?
The champion! Pat, thank you very, very much.
My pleasure, Joe.
Real nice. United States heavyweight champion Pat O'Connor. I know our fans appreciate it and continue good luck.
Thank you.
Real good. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Good night, everybody.
Fans, there you have it, 1962. That little black and white television that Curtis talked about, that's what I used to watch it on. You know, on a Wednesday night. A lot of you don't even remember that. You all think, oh, it was Saturday and Sunday. I remember it was on Wednesday nights and then rebroadcasted it on Saturday. Curtis, the memories are great. And what you're doing, as I said throughout this program, you are making memories that people's going to be talking about for years to come. Racing is, I'll tell you what, I'll be real honest with you. I was what they would call a semi-racing fan, but dang it, I am hooked now, and I'm telling you, and everywhere I go, I talk about it because the thrill, because I came back out the next day because we were there helping, and to get out there and hear that roar around that track. And I mean, we found us a place where we had a bird's eye view, and Brian and I sat there, and I mean, zoom. I'm thinking, what? Makes you want to get in one of them and drive them, you know, but I'd be scared. But we really appreciate you coming on. I know you got a busy schedule, but I'd like to get Chris to come on, or even Mike. Mike and I'd have some fun sitting in here talking about the old days of wrestling at the Chase, because it was a household name, as you well know.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I can't remember many Saturday nights at 10:30 that I wasn't sitting right next to my dad watching that little portable TV. And, you know, I think as we were looking at putting something together, that was in the back of my mind was those memories and trying to capture that again. And I think we did that at the Melee on the Midway.
Well, there you have it. And the Melee on the Midway, it may be in the books right now, but there's going to be more wrestling and racing at the Raceway, without a doubt. Tune in here each and every Sunday night, and you're going to get a lot more information. You're probably going to get tired of hearing about racing and wrestling, but guess what? It's fun. Tell your family, tell your friends about it, because we're making some history. Fans, until next Sunday night, everybody have a good week, and we'll see you right back here at 8 p.m. next Sunday night.